All right, we are live at the Paste Happiest Hour. I've got Avi Kaplan with me today. So good to see you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Very excited about this one. So, where
Yeah.
exactly in Tennessee are you now?
So I'm out like around the Leapers Fork area, way out in the middle of the forest, and I'm in my cabin. It's been a good place to be.
Oh, that's great. Well, so you're from California, you moved to Tennessee. Tell me a little bit about what led to that big move, that big life change.
Yeah. Well, I really wanted to have a place that was away from the city, but I still really wanted to. Obviously, I still wanted to do music. So Nashville was the best option for me to be able to have a place that's outside the city, that's really in the country, but still be close enough to a city that has a music scene. And also Nashville, the type of music that I'm doing now is much more suited for Nashville than either of the other music cities like LA, London, New York, and so it just felt right. And also, my sister lives out here too, so that's a gigantic bonus.
That's great. Well, you've got a new EP out. I'll get by. Um,
Hmm.
the first EP was a big change from the a cappella stuff you've been doing to a more folky vibe. Now you've got Mike Mogus producing, and it's this lush, very cool roots EP. Can you talk a little bit about making that EP?
Yeah, so I got together with Mike Mogus, and he is just a wizard. As a mixer and a producer, he's unbelievable. So he and I actually hopped on a call before we even started working together, and just started, brainstorming. And kind of, I kind of let him know what my vision was. And it seemed that we were going to work really, really well together, and that he totally understood my vision. And so I ended up going out. To Omaha. He has like a whole compound out there, and I basically stayed out there and just worked on the whole record. We did a few songs before we actually did the record. And actually, one of the songs that we did before was Aberdeen, the song that I'm going to sing, one of them. Um, and so, yeah, I went out there and we just kind of delved into it. And it was such a beautiful experience to be able to wake up every single day and work on this record, and work on it with someone that is so well versed in the art form that I have been in love with since as long as I can remember. It was an amazing learning experience, and just a really great experience in general.
That's awesome. Well, we'd love to hear the song.
Yeah, so this song is called Aberdeen, and it was produced and recorded in Omaha, Nebraska. There is a place that I used to go, given its name by the buffalo. Filled me up and eased my pain, washed my soul without the rain. Oh, Aberdeen, you've been calling me to make my way back home, to that cool summer breeze and those old evergreens, the only place to rest my weary bones. Soon I will go and free my heart to that sage and stone beneath the stars. my mind and float my soul to lay down all my sorrows. Oh, Aberdeen, you've been calling me to make my way back home to that cool summer breeze and those old evergreens, the only place to rest my weary bones. Oh, Aberdeen, you've been calling me to make my way back home.
That's
Thank
fantastic.
you.
Gosh,
Thank
that's
you so
beautiful.
much.
That's
Thank
beautiful.
you.
So, I'm sure the decision kind of leaving that a cappella world, picking up a guitar, and kind of taking your music in a different direction had to have been at the same time scary, thrilling, every emotion you can imagine. And it's also got to be gratifying to see, that it's working, that you've got this second life as a singer-songwriter, in more of a folk roots vein.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely was scary, definitely was stressful. Um, but even through that, I knew that it was the right decision. Um, I've been doing this kind of music since I started doing music in general. This is always the music that I've written. It's always the music that I've listened to. And so to be able to, like you said, have a second life, um, as an artist, as really the artist that I always imagined myself to be, has really been such a blessing and so gratifying and so fulfilling. Um, it's been amazing.
Awesome. So, how important has the city of Nashville been to this phase of your career?
It's been huge. I mean, being able to move out here, obviously I'm on the outskirts, has been so therapeutic for me to be able to be kind of away from society, and have my own space, in one of my favorite places, which is the forest. That has been so amazing for me. But then also to be in the community of Nashville, is a huge change from LA. And nothing against LA, but Nashville is just so much more my speed. And I found that in the pocket that I'm in right now, that it's a really beautiful community, musically. I mean, and I didn't find the same community in LA, and so being able to be here and have that community has been a really amazing thing for me.
Yeah, and with everything that's going on right now, the idea of living near a forest. I mean, I've every weekend I've tried to get back to nature, even in Atlanta, just find a trail somewhere to go walk by a lake. Um, it feels like I think we're all feeling that yearning for a reconnection to nature while we're like stuck in our homes wherever we are. Um, has that kept you going a little bit the last few weeks?
Absolutely. I don't know how I would be dealing with all this if I was in a city. Um, in general, I'm not a city guy, so it's already a bit tough for me. But during something like this, where peace and quiet and peace of mind, and joy is so needed. Being out here has been a gigantic blessing, and I've just been feeling a lot of gratitude just to be out here and have this place, and um, you know, just being able to have that peace of mind and have the joy, you know, of being able to be outside and be in the forest and hear the wind and see springtime come alive and hear the birds chirping and lightning bugs are coming about, and it's been good. It's been really good.
Is that something you feel like you need for your own songwriting? And have you been, writing more now that you're sort of stuck at home a little bit, not out on tour?
Yeah, absolutely. In general, I feel like my songwriting um, is helped a lot by having that peace of mind, but also peace of spirit and heart. Um, and so I feel like when I'm in that space, that my heart is able to open a bit more. Um, and yeah, it's been extremely helpful. And in terms of writing, I've written, I think, 4 songs since I've been here now. And so that's been great to be able to just sit down and write, and as much as it's tough sometimes to be still and to not have something to do or to not be touring when I was supposed to be out on tour for another month.
Hmm.
It's there's also a positive in it, and then I'm able to be still and able to write.
Well, I know it's got to be hard not to be able to take this new record and take it on the road to your fans and play for an audience where you're feeling that connection. But just looking at the comments rolling here, there's a lot of love for you from our viewers today. They're appreciating that you're here, that you're playing, and we'd love to hear your second song today. What are you going to play next?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for you all having me, and thank you to everyone watching. I appreciate all the love and support, and y'all always showing up and being so sweet. So I just want to say that. And the second song that I'm going to be playing, I actually just figured out this acoustic version of it. It's the first song on the EP, I'll Get By. It's called Change on the Rise. And yeah, I'm excited to play it for you.
We can't wait to hear it.
Without the light or the darkness come, hold through the night, the shadows will run. Fend off the enemy, sing out the jubilee with all the fire we can breathe. We're singing all day and you can't tame. High tide, low tide, nighttime, morning time. Yeah. We're going strong, headed up, down the river. Oh Lord, I feel the reveling. I feel a change on the rise. What good's a man who's lost his soul? Can't take a stand when his flame's gone cold. Fend off the enemy, sing out the jubilee with all the fire we can breathe. We're singing all day and you can't tame me. High tide, low tide, you know. Nighttime, morning time. We're going strong, headed up, down the river. Oh Lord, I feel the reveling. I feel a change on the rise. I feel a change on I feel a change on the rise. I feel a change on I feel a change on the rise. Ooh. We're singing all day and you can't tame me. High tide, low tide, you know. Headed up, down the river, oh Lord, I feel the reveling. I feel a change on the rise. We're singing all day and you can't tame me. High tide, low tide, you know. Nighttime, morning time, and we're going strong, headed up, down the river, oh Lord, I feel the reveling. I feel a change on the rise.
Oh my
Thank you
gosh,
so
this is
much.
so great. I'm so glad to have you on
Thank
today,
you.
Avi. So, Avi,
Yeah.
I know we talked about two songs. Two songs is fine, but your dad just showed up in the comments requesting Wayfaring Stranger.
My dad. Oh, dad. Well, I'll sing just a little bit for him. Not the whole thing, but if that's okay with you.
Yeah, I would love to hear that.
Well, I don't really have a guitar part for it, so I'll just do a little bit of that. Thank you, Dad, for putting me on the spot. But here it goes. This is Wayfaring Stranger. I am a poor wayfaring stranger traveling through this world alone. There's no sickness, toil, or danger. That bright land which I know, I'm going there to meet my mother. I'm going there no more alone. And I'm going over Jordan. I'm going over home now.
That is amazing. Thank you so much. You gotta,
Thank
when
you.
your dad shows up in the comments, you just gotta kind of roll with it.
You can't say no to dad. You just can't say no to dad.
So, speaking of family, you're in Tennessee. Is the rest of the clan in California? Except I think your sister, you said, is also Tennessee.
So my sister's in Tennessee. My parents are in California, in my hometown, Visalia, and my brother actually lives in Jerusalem. And then the rest of my family is spread out all over.
Spread out. So, do you guys get together on Zoom or Google Hangouts and reconnect? Have you felt like you've been able to keep those connections?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we do FaceTime me a lot, and yeah, it's been even more important than usual to stay in contact and stay connected. Um, my family is very, very close, and I'm not the best at communicating sometimes, but I'm sure my dad will say that I have improved, and especially in this time. It's been really good and also really, really helpful and needed.
Great. Well, one thing we like to ask everybody on this show is what is the piece of art, whether it's a TV show, a book, another album, that's speaking to you right now, that's keeping you sane and entertained, and um, what's helping you through this time?
Yeah, I mean, I've obviously been listening to a lot of music, and always trying to listen to new things that I haven't heard before. And I'm a huge fan of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and obviously Crosby, Stills and Nash. But I hadn't really delved into the Crosby, Stills and Nash stuff in general. I hadn't really delved into that, and I have been delving into that. But also the solo work of each one of them, I hadn't really delved into yet. So I just listened to the debut album of David Crosby, and it's really, really amazing. And so I've been listening to that a lot. That's definitely been the soundtrack of my life lately. When I go on drives around the country, I've been listening to his stuff. Put the windows down. Let the sunshine shine down on my face, and it's been really beautiful. And I feel like I have a lot to learn from them still, and from him as well. So it's been really great delving into that.
That's fantastic. So I know before all this happened, Nashville got hit pretty hard with tornadoes.
Yeah.
Did that affect you at all, or was that far enough away to miss you?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully it was far enough away to miss me. And everyone that I know, that I'm close to, no one was affected by it. Um, but I know that it it really, really affected a lot of people. And it's so heartbreaking, especially now. It's like a double whammy. Some people lost their homes, and now people are having to do social distancing and not having jobs, and it's a really crazy time, especially for Nashville. So yeah, but thankfully, I mean, I wasn't affected as much as everyone else.
So this is your second EP. Is there a full length that we can look forward to at some point?
Absolutely. Yeah. Now that the touring isn't happening, I've been writing for that. And I already have a bunch of songs written in general. So I'm sure that I already have a few tracks, on there. But yeah, now that I can't really tour, I'm just going to be writing a bunch and working on a full length album.
That's great. So any thoughts on how that will get recorded? Any anything that you'd like to do differently than you've done before, or places you'd like to go?
Um, I I think that, I mean, well, for me, usually I let the songs kind of take me where they need to go. So I think that once I have the songs chosen / written, that I'll have a better idea of where I would want it to go and what I want the feel to be. Um, but I would say that it won't be much of a departure um, of where I went on this last EP. I would say it would be an elaboration, um, on it. And, I think that, in general, I learned so much from that last experience. And I feel like, um, I have a better handle on the different sounds that I like to make with my voice and how I'd like that to complement each type of song that I do. Um, but yeah, I mean, in general, I'm just excited to delve in. It's making an album and writing an album is probably my favorite part of being an artist. So I'm excited.
That's fantastic. Well, we've got Caitlyn Smith waiting for us here. We're going to bring her back in now.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. And for everyone watching, stay tuned. I heard a little bit of her sound check, and she sounds unbelievable. So
Definitely
keep
got
watching
some
for
good
sure.
voices on the show today. This is looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Just taking a second here. So, before we get to our toast, I just have to say, the idea of, recording with Mike Mogus and recording this kind of album, you know, the roots world, there's so much that I love in that world, and having your voice just brings this whole new element to it. So if anybody hasn't checked out the EP, they should. Hey, Caitlyn.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great.
Good, I'm so glad. Y'all having a good time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good, I'm so glad. I poured myself a drink.
All right, I've got mine.
All right.
So,
cheers.
I have
Caitlyn.
mine.
All right.
Cheers, my dear.
Caitlyn, for your Minnesota roots, I've got a Summit Brewing here from St. Paul.
Yes, St. Paul. That's amazing.
But
Cheers.
both of you guys are now in Nashville and or nearby, so which is a great place for musicians. I have so many friends there that just talk about the community spirit, and I know as we are all sort of shut in our own little worlds here, even so, Nashville seems to be rallying around itself, and that community of musicians still seems to be going strong there.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can still write songs and you can still create, and there are a lot of incredible organizations that are out there to support all of the artists that don't have jobs right now, all of the touring musicians and guitar players and all that stuff. And so it's such a wonderful community, and I'm just so blessed to be a part of it. So, yeah.
Well, great. Well, I would like to propose a toast, our first toast of the day. If you're on the YouTube stream, there's a donate button. I know a lot of people right now cannot donate, have lost jobs. But for those of you who can, it goes to Music Cares, which raises money to out-of-work musicians. And so with both of you guys in Nashville, I'd like to raise a glass to all the Nashville musicians that their livelihoods just sort of disappeared there a little bit. Would be out on the road and earning money from shows, which is such a huge part of the musician's life right now. And I know it affects you too, particularly with albums out right now. So to the musicians of Nashville.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So Avi, who else should we be drinking to today?
I would like to propose a toast to all the essential workers and to anyone around the world that is, feeling a bit of darkness right now, a little bit of anxiety or depression or anything like that. A cheers to anyone like that, and a cheers to us all getting through it, because I know that we will. I can feel it in my bones.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Thanks, Avi.
I drink to that.
Mm-hmm. All right, Caitlyn, how about you?
Man, I got a lot of people to cheers, but being a mother of two small humans, I want to cheers to all of the parents out there that now all of a sudden have become teachers. I mean, my kids aren't school age, but I know so many parents out there that all of a sudden are now wearing the hat of like trying to homeschool their kids, and people working from home, also trying to manage their family. And so it's a lot of extra, right? And so I want to give an extra cheers to parents out there. And we are going to get through this. So cheers to the other side of this mess too, right?
Cheers to that. Amen. Well, Avi, it has been so great having you. Thank you so much for the music. And if anybody has not checked out I'll Get By, the new EP, it's available everywhere. Go check it on Spotify, on YouTube, since you're here already, but not until after this, because we've got some more music coming up.
Yay!
Yeah, stick around.
Amazing.
Hey, you, good luck. Have a great time.
You. Thanks so much. Bye.
Thanks, Avi.
Yeah, see ya.
Oh, there we go.
Hi.
Hey, Caitlyn.
This is so much fun. It's a bummer that we can't be in person, but really, truly, the internet is such a blessing because it really allows us to still be connected.
I know.
I'm really, really grateful for that. Being an extrovert, I'm like, they're people.
I
That's
know.
awesome.
Well, this show has fed my soul because every day at 5 o'clock, I know I get to talk to people and hear music, two things that are so necessary for me. Like I need
Yeah.
that. And so this is so much fun.
Yay. So good.
Yay. So you also have a brand new album out, Supernova, which is fantastic.
Thank
Um,
you.
I know it's a weird time to be releasing new music and be ready to hit the road, and now you're home with your kids and
Yeah.
thankfully able to do things like this and connect to your audience out there. But how are you doing? How are you doing with all of
Yeah.
that?
It definitely depends on the day with how I'm doing. But I really feel like we've just been trying to make the best that we can every day, and some days are harder than others. And it just is okay that we can like get out of bed and feed our kids and make it make it through the day. But honestly, it's been, I mean, really wonderful to do these live streams. And things didn't go as planned, but people have it a lot worse. And so, I'm just trying to send my energy out to all those people who are sick or who are working million-hour shifts to keep us all together. And so, it's nuts. I don't know. Today I feel great though.
Good, good. Well, we loved your debut, Starfire, in 2018. Loved the new record. Your career started primarily as a songwriter. I can't think of anybody else your age who wrote for Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, Garth Brooks, Meghan Trainor, and now you've got your own career as a performer. Tell us about the making of this record and what went into it.
Yeah. So, you get your whole life to write your first album, so you get all the time to write all the songs, and then your second record, it's less time. But the beauty of it is there's so much learning that happens with that first record, where you go out and you're touring, you're finding your audience, you're finding out what works, what doesn't. And so, taking all of that information in for record number two was so beneficial. And I also decided I love to do things the hard way. And so got pregnant with another human while touring this other record. And so that just I think it added to the songs that are on this album as well. I joke that since I was a little more hormonal, there's a little more feelings on this record.
There absolutely are. I feel like it runs the emotional gamut. Every
Absolutely.
song just has that powerful feeling in it, and
Aw.
I love that. I imagine performing up there. You've gotta kind of go through some of those emotions again.
Yeah, I mean, I love to sing from my toes. And, when I'm gonna deliver a song to an audience, in order to connect, you have to be tapped into that emotion as well. But it's fun for me, and I mean, even singing sad songs, because it's almost like being an actress, where you get to go back to that place, and just deliver this sadness. Or if you're in a love song, you go back to that feeling, and so yeah.
That's great. Well, during sound check, you were definitely singing from your toes. I can't wait to hear you do that again. You ready to play the first song?
Yeah, I am. I'm going to play a little heartbreak song. I've been happily married for 11 years now, and people are like, why do you have so many heartbreak songs on your record? But, I've got a lot of friends that have gone through a lot of crap in the last couple of years. And so I pour the wine for them. I'm like, tell me more about your sadness. And so I truly love to tap into that, and write songs for my friends, to give them words to maybe the feelings they can't quite articulate. And so, we've probably all been here, where you just are at that point where you want to get over someone. This one's called I Don't Want to Love You Anymore. Pour the wine, but every time I don't feel better. You skip in my mind like a scratch light spinning on a record. I've been told that I won't stay broken forever, but I'm still waiting, breaking down each day. I don't wanna love you anymore. No, I don't wanna love you anymore. But you're in my blood, you're in my veins, and my heart can't hear me when I say that I don't wanna love you anymore. Heard that you found somebody new, moved to the city. You're living downtown and happier now than you were with me. Why was it so damn easy for you to forget me? 'Cause I still lose it when I hear your name. It's stupid. I don't wanna love you anymore. No, I don't wanna love you anymore. But you're in my blood, you're in my veins, and my heart can't hear me when I say that I don't wanna love you anymore. Anymore, anymore, anymore. I don't want to love you anymore. But you're in my blood, you're in my veins, and my heart can't hear me when I say that I don't want to love you anymore. Anymore, anymore. Anymore, anymore. Anymore.
Wow. That is fantastic. I'm so glad to hear things are good at home because, man, the emotion there, it's like, oh no. Oh, that was beautiful.
We're good.
So, you would be out touring right now. You're at home. You've got little ones. Are you finding ways to connect and just be part of the community and part of your family? And I know you said you're an extrovert. Has that been tough right now?
Yeah, I mean, I've been, yes, but also, I've been FaceTiming my family, and both my husband and I are from Minnesota originally, so we're always, each night we either have his parents, my parents, our brothers or sisters, somebody, our family, friends, somebody's on Zoom, and that's been really, really beautiful to still maintain. I almost feel more connected to my family and friends in this crazy time, just because it's like out of necessity to not go crazy. I'm reaching out so much more. Where, before this, I would get into the hamster wheel and the busy loop. And, it would go a couple weeks before talking to someone all of a sudden. And so, there really has been a beauty in that, in connecting with people. And then we've also created, I've created my own live stream show that I do a couple times a week. And that's been a beautiful source of connection with my fans, and in a way to meet new people and have conversations with interesting humans, which is a conversation series. So it's so fun.
That's great. Well, there's been a lot of love on the comments section here, and one suggestion that you and Avi really should sing something together. And I'm thinking, oh,
that would be amazing. His voice, like, oh my gosh, like a massive bear hug. It's amazing.
It is. So a lot of your songwriting has been in the country world. This album, I mean, there's little elements there, but it's a pop rock record. I love it. Can you talk about just a little bit of what's influenced you and the kind of artist that you really saw yourself becoming?
Yeah. Well, the beautiful thing about Nashville is that it's an all genre town. And so I've written a lot of songs in country music. There's also a huge pop circle here. A lot of pop writers from LA come here. There's a giant folk scene. And so there's constant inspiration from all angles happening in the city, which is really beautiful. I can go out to see so many different people and genres any day of the week. And so, making this record, though, I really was heavily influenced by, I kind of went back almost to the 90s. I dove into that Patty Griffin Flaming Red record.
Oh, I love that record.
I love that record. Listened to a lot of like Tedeschi Trucks and and I was very heavily influenced by like a lot of old and also a lot of new, and so, I love Harry Styles and I love the music he's creating, and I just that kind of creeps in. Then I also go listen to like the whole Paul Simon catalog. And so honestly, as far as influence goes, I'm a bit all over the map. And so I think that's what pours out of me is a bit of a genre-less, strange cocktail of all of these things.
Well, no, I love that. And I absolutely agree with that. When you said Tedeschi Trucks, I'm like, oh yeah, then there's that whole blues element coming in. But Flaming Red, which is Patty Griffin at her rockinest.
God, it's the best.
It's the best. I do love that. Yeah, there's really just straight up pop elements in it, and maybe Nashville's the only place that record could have come from, with everything just sort of crashing in together.
Totally. And the beautiful thing is, I cut 4 of the songs here in a Nashville studio, and I cut the rest of it in LA. And it was very fun for me to get out of my comfort zone. I haven't done a lot of creating in LA, and so recording with a totally new producer and a totally new community also lent to it sounding different as well.
That's fantastic. Well, what are we going to hear next from you?
Yeah, I'd love to share the last song on my record. And this song, it came out of a season. I was talking earlier about how we toured like crazy, and I was like 39 weeks pregnant when I wrote this song. And I walked in to the studio with, I had a day with Ian Fitchick and Patrick Droney, and I just felt like I just missed my home, I missed my community, I missed my people. And so this song poured out of just really about being lonely on the road, and it being kind of a bit of a struggle. But the beautiful thing about that is, though I'm lonely, my husband plays in my band, my family comes along, and so we all get to do it together, which made the title Lonely Together. And then after this whole pandemic thing happened, it strangely took on this new meaning. People are messaging me going like, my husband and I are, sitting on our couch drinking wine, and this has become our new theme song. And so it's taken on this beautiful new meaning that, where we're all social distancing, we're all staying home. The crazy thing is we are all in this shit show together. We all get to do it together. So this is Lonely Together. last 10 months, I haven't slowed down. It's been wheels up, wheels down, trying to gain a little ground. Most nights I lay down my head, and I'm grateful, but I miss my friends. Been a little bit sad, so I called up a doctor. Didn't want his pills, just someone to talk to. Still, he wrote me a script, but it ain't gonna fix the human condition. Doesn't everyone cry at the start? Doesn't everyone try way too goddamn hard? You got a heart like mine, I can name every color. You make me feel like I'm not going insane. And when you're by my side, oh, I get a little bit better. Hold me, let's be lonely together. Hold me and let's be lonely together. Kiss my face when I'm staring off into space. Know what I'm thinking and I don't gotta say it. You just pull the curtains and turn down the lights. Put out the fire in my mind. Doesn't everyone want to just be understood? To look into another's eyes and be recognized. You got a heart like mine, I can name every color. You made me feel like I'm not going insane. And when you're by my side, oh, I get a little bit better. Hold me and let's be lonely together. Hold me and let's be lonely together. You got a heart like mine, I can name every color. You make me feel like I'm not going insane. And when you're by my side, oh, I get a little bit better. Hold me, let's be lonely together. Hold me, let's be lonely.
I love the comment. Someone said, "Can you send hearts like on Instagram? Because damn."
Thank you.
Oh, it's amazing that that song wasn't written during all of this, because it does feel like the song for the moment.
Yeah, totally. It's crazy. I found that with a few songs. All of a sudden they have like, you just see them in a new lens and they have take on a whole new meaning. So that's the beauty of music.
It is the beauty of music. It kind of fits so many different situations and emotions, and but wow, that was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
So one thing we ask everybody on the show is, what is the piece of art that is getting you through this? Whether it's television, whether it's a book, an album, just the thing that is keeping you entertained and sane and distracted maybe, or just keeping you going.
Yeah. I toggle, I can take my like creative like injections like in very small doses. And so I find that I can listen to maybe like one song and I'll let that feed me, and then I'll let that sit for a while. So I'll go listen to like Sounds of Silence, and then I'll let that sit in my brain for a while. Or I'll go read, I've been reading this book by Tyler Knott about creativity, which he was on a guest on my Lonely Together show, incredible poet and an author. And so he has these little creative prompts, and that's been inspiring for me. Daily meditation, even if it's like 3 minutes, where I'll just go, I'll put on the app, I'll be quiet. But I've just been finding my creative get-throughs just in tiny little, almost 5-minute doses. And maybe it's because I'm a mom and you know, naturally just ADD and don't have a ton of time to myself. But also spa music, all the way. So there's something about just music, classical music, music without words, that's just able to just kind of transport you. Jazz, that's been very, very filling. So, yeah.
That's great. That's fantastic. Well, Lonely Together is also a great name for a series that you do, the online shows. So people should check those out. People should definitely check out Supernova because it's a brilliant album. Available everywhere. And Caitlyn, when this is all over, you got to come to Atlanta. We got to do this again in person and Pace Studio. That would be amazing.
I love it. I love Atlanta, and I can't wait to go anywhere.
Anywhere. I know. So great to have you on the show today. Thank you so much, and take care and be safe.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Josh. Take care, my dear. Mwah.
Mwah. Bye.
Bye.